trans woman advocate and Orange is the New Black star Laverne Cox wants you to stop stigmatizing trans women, but also the men who love them. So she recently had an interview on SiriusXM's Progress, and she explains that most men who are attracted to and date transgender women are probably stigmatized more than trans women are. I think a man who is dating trans women, who is a celebrity or famous or is an athlete or something, needs to come forward, or a musician, and needs to say, I love transgender women and they deserve to be loved, and I'm going to declare that publicly. I think those men need some sort of inspiration and hope so they can live more authentically. Now, she also spoke to her own experience. She says, as I date a lot of straight identified men, I've seen them so deeply internalize these ideas very rigidly about what it means to be a man, to be a straight man. So this sparked some interesting conversation this morning in the production meeting.
Yeah, no, I love this story because this is the group that no one in the country acknowledges.
Right.
They're obviously significant. Now, why? Every person that lives in LA has driven at some point by Santa Monica, especially in the old days before the internet took over the whole prostitution business, let's be honest, right? And if you don't know LA, on Sunset you'd have the straight hookers, and on Santa Monica you'd have the trans hookers, right? And every city has some version of that somewhere. Wait a minute. What are they all doing out there if they don't have any clients? Oh, right, they have clients. They have a lot of clients. So where are those folks, right? Let alone the people who are just simply dating trans people, whether they're doing it out in the open or they're doing it secretly, and most are doing it secretly, right? So there's a whole heap of men out there dating trans women, either pre-operation or post-operation. But no one ever comes out and says, that's me, right?
Right.
So when you look at the public world, they don't exist at all. But in reality, there's apparently an ocean of them out there.
Yeah.
Isn't it amazing that you never hear from them?
No, I completely agree. And I also think, so there's a term that this community of people who are attracted to transgender women, they call themselves trans-oriented, and it's men who are attracted to trans women, but it can also be like cis women and stuff like that. But there's also the fact that even if you don't know, even if you're not initially attracted to a trans woman, if you find out later on, having these conversations and not stigmatizing them will make them more accepting when they do find out, when they do have that conversation in a relationship, which is also totally beneficial.
The other part of the conversation we never have is, I think a lot of guys would say, oh, that guy's gay, right? Let's just keep it real. That's what they would say. I'm not saying it's right. I'm saying that's what they would say. So, but we never have a conversation. What are they actually, right? So if you're dating a woman who's post-operative, so you're presumably perfectly straight. You ask guys, they'll say, no, they're not, right? That's what they'll say, right? A majority of guys.
It doesn't really make sense to say that they're gay. If they're gay,
they're dating a person who looks like a woman, is a woman, has a woman's genitalia. How could they be gay? I agree with you.
But if they're gay, then why wouldn't they be going for a guy who has a guy's genitalia? Like, why would they not do that?
Well, so here's another interesting part of that conversation, which is, and mind you, look, a lot of my experience in this is rooted in reading these articles and this one interview I did almost 20 years ago in Miami with a transsexual woman, right? So I keep referring to that over and over again. I got to update that, and if Laverne Cox will come on, I'd love to interview her, et cetera, and we should do better in that regard. But she said to me, the woman in Miami, she said, a lot of times guys use us as a transition, which I found to be fascinating. Never had thought about that before in my life. She said, we can't keep a boyfriend a lot of times because they'll start with us, but then they'll go to guys.
Yeah.
Okay. So now, again, I didn't get into the complexity of whether it was pre or post-operative as to the transition, and it's probably both in some different ways, right? But these are interesting topics, and some of these things are so untalked about, we don't even really have words for.
Well, and look, I've talked before. I have a friend who is a psychology professor. He is gay. His research is in sexual orientation. And he talks about his experiences and other people he knows in the community who they hook up with guys who say that they're straight before and after. And they're not post-op. They're just gay males that they hook up with, and they say that they're still straight. I mean, I would say that the guys are not straight, but I don't think that that's, like, to say that people would attack you, like, how dare you not say they're straight? First of all, I don't think that not being straight is a horrible thing, that would be terrible if you weren't straight. I think that we use these terms and the terms are too restrictive. There are other terms that you could use. You just brought up one, that there is actually a term for that.
Right.
That they may not want to be termed as, but words have meanings.
Well, that's what I was going to say. I think one of the coolest things about the time that we're living in right now is that we're becoming a lot more accepting of the spectrum of sexuality that exists. We're seeing that it's not just straight, gay, lesbian, like there's a spectrum. And I think eventually we'll have to stop saying, well, are they straight or are they gay? Like, I think eventually we'll stop having to be able to label them. Just like, oh, this person likes this person's company and is attracted to this person. Doesn't really matter what kind of genitalia they have and how they identify and stuff like that. Eventually, I think we're going to get there. I don't think we're there quite yet, but I think hopefully as we become, I guess, more open-minded to it all, I think we'll get there.
You know we've gotten to the right place when people say, who cares? Like, who cares what you call me or I call
Right.
you? Like, in terms of sexuality, gay, straight, bi, somewhere on the spectrum, so what? And actually, a lot of young people already say that, right? And they wonder why we talk about it so much, because they don't get it. They're like, well, where's the issue? Who cares? You like a woman, you like a trans woman, who cares, right? Great, you're at the right place, right? But a lot of the country is not in the same place as you are, right?
Right.
And that's why you don't have, especially in the older generation, I don't know how it is in the younger generation, anybody coming out and going, yeah, I'm with a trans woman and I love it and it's fantastic. You know we're not in the right place because there's not almost seemingly in public anyone saying that.
I can think of one or two celebrities, and that's basically it.
Oh, really? Who?
Jim Norton from XM, he talks about it.
Oh,
That's like
for him.
they may be the only person that I can think of.
Wow, I don't know him, but that's awesome.
Yeah.
Good for him. Okay.
That's just about it.
Okay, we got it. We
But
found
that's the
one
first
person in
step,
America.
you know.
Yeah. But they're obviously out there because there's a market for it.
Right, definitely.
We can find them. Let's go to Santa Monica.
Yeah.